How did he give me HIV part 11? Good morning. Yeah, I made him drive to her house. I made him give her the phone when she opened the door. And when I asked her, did she know who I was? Her response was, yes. I was completely flabbergasted. Number one, because if you know who I am, then that means you know that this is a married man. And that, technically, if you know someone's married, you should not be messing with them, let alone, having a relationship with them, sleeping with them, let alone having a baby with them, okay? So I said to her, do you know that he's HIV positive and that he's giving me HIV? She said yes. So now at this point, I'm just like, listen, I'm ready to hop in the car. I'm ready to get to South Carolina. I'm ready to show up at whoever doorstep because I'm pissed, okay? I'm so pissed. I'm pissed. So I asked her, I say, so if you know all of this, what are you doing? Like, I'm saying this to her as a woman, to another woman. What are you doing? And so she said to me, well, he told me that if that I might as well stay with him because nobody's ever going to want me again. And, we're dealing with the same thing and I might as well stay with him. Guess what? He told me the same exact thing, girl. He said that to me too. Throughout the many times of him calling me, asking me to come back home, begging me to come back home, he said to me, well, we might as well stay married and be together because, the same thing. Might as well be together. Basically making it seem like he's my only option now because I have HIV just like him. And I told her, I said, well, guess what? If you stay, you are a fool. I'm not staying. I'm going. I have already left. And that was really like my one and only conversation with her. Okay. That was it. That was my one and only conversation with her. And I just hung up the phone. I was in that moment, I was already feeling embarrassed. I was already feeling disgusted. But now I'm just feeling like nothing. I'm feeling like nothing. I'm feeling like, wait a minute. I'm sitting here like, man, what's going on? Like, did I run over a black cat? Did I break a mirror? I'm like, why is all of this happening to me? Because I feel like I literally did every single thing that I saw all these people around me for all these years. I saw the communication. I saw the listening. I saw the understanding. I saw the dating. I saw, the commitments around me from other people. And I'm like, that's what I thought I was doing. That's what I thought I had. I thought that I had found my forever person. Okay. So, moving forward, all right, they issued the nationwide warrant for his arrest once the police department got everything together. And like I said, his mother bonded him out. And then once the state of South Carolina realized that, wait a minute, not necessarily the state, Spartanburg County Police Department. Once they realized, wait a minute, we have this man in our county. This is his charges. And we picked him up for it. And he lives here. They put charges on him as well. Okay. So he had charges for Florida because that's where I filed. And he had charges for South Carolina. Now, the first time he got arrested, this is where you got to buckle up again. Listen, y'all gonna need so many seatbelts. You might as well just keep your seatbelt on. Don't take it off no more after this point, okay? So the first time he got arrested was right before Mother's Day. So it was like between that February and May time period when they went and finally picked him up and arrested him. When this happened, It was on the news. It was on every news outlet in South Carolina, North Carolina, and other surrounding states. His face. Now, when they initially started reporting this, some of the news outlets were making it a point to say, oh, man infected girlfriend with HIV. You know. And honestly, that really bothered me because I really needed people to understand this was not a boyfriend-girlfriend type of situation. This was not just someone out here sleeping with someone, not asking questions, not getting tested, not doing things. This was someone who was a wife. So I called I sent an email to one of the news stations to the lady who had wrote the article, and I said, listen, you wrote this article about me and it is not correct. So we got on the phone and we had a conversation and I explained everything to her. And she asked me, would I be okay doing a phone interview with her and it would air on the news? Now, I'm going to tell you why I chose to do this. Because in the midst of all of this happening is when I find out that there are potentially other people that he's infected with this virus. Not just the woman that he got pregnant, not just her. I mean, yeah, she's one of the ones that, you know, because I know that he infected her as well. However, other people. Because remember, I told you he worked at this manufacturing company in Greer, South Carolina. He had been there for 5 years at this point. So there's many people that he came in contact with. And when this all happened to me, I told y'all I was a private investigator. At this time, we had, I believe it was Verizon. And this was when they would mail you your itemized phone calls in the mail. You know, you get this big, thick envelope. And when you open it, it lists every phone call you ever made. So, I was so angry. I was like, his sisters told me all this stuff. I'm finding out different little things, you know. And I said, you know what? I need anybody that's been in contact with him, they need to know. So I went down the call log and I started calling all of these numbers. If I didn't know the number, I dialed it. If it was a local number, I dialed it because he wasn't traveling to go have sex with anybody. They were right there in Spartanburg, Greenville area. And so I'm dialing these numbers. I'm talking to people and I'm saying, listen, I don't mean to call you in this manner. I say it, but do you know Gregory Martinez? Oh, you do? Okay, well, I don't know what type of relationship you've had with him, but I'm his wife, and he has knowingly infected me with HIV. And if you had sex with him, you need to go and get tested. I got people that cussed me out. I got people that hung up in my face. I got people that were in shock because that was not a part of what anyone knew to be his demeanor or something that he would do. And so I called all those numbers, and during those phone calls, I spoke with someone. And I gave them that same thing. I said, hey, you know, this is his wife and da-da-da. And I didn't even assume anything in that initial moment. I just said, well, if you know anyone who possibly has had any type of dealings with him sexually, can you please let them know to go and get tested? And the person was like, what do you mean he like women? What you mean he gave you HIV? What you mean? Like, they was like real sassy with it and was like, what you mean? And I'm sitting here explaining to them like, listen, I'm just telling you what I know right now. That he's giving me HIV. He's been HIV positive. And he's not telling people and he's sleeping with them. I was speaking to a man. I was speaking to a homosexual man who told me in that phone conversation that he and my ex-husband had sexual contact and that he was even shocked that my ex-husband had any dealings with a woman. He didn't know that he even liked women.